Lisa's radio experience has enthused her, but I'd like her to explore other options because she's not just looking for a job, she's looking for a lifestyle.
Actually, an interesting option became very clear, I suppose, on my initial meeting with Lisa. She's a bit of foodie, a bit of a restaurant person, likes her wine, knows a little bit about it. So we're actually pursuing a possibility of, like, not necessarily a sommelier, but perhaps going down the route of being a bit of a wine expert, maybe wine sales, maybe working in an environment where people want advice on wine.
I'm sending Lisa to meet Peter Dunn of Mitchell's in Dublin, a business that has been selling wine since 1887.
You probably need a little experience in a shop to start with, to know what it is that people want to know. Right. Now, if you're repping, you're probably calling on restaurants and hotels and wine shops where the person you're dealing with knows a fair bit to start with. Our situation would be where we would import a lot of things which are small family producers, so on, to an extent a harder sell to call to a restaurant and tell them about something that they don't read about all the time or whatever. And if you have a profile of wines to sell that are easy to sell because they're well-known names or whatever.
I have to say that might eventually sound a little bit boring, constantly just selling the same brand and doing the same thing. It sounds a little bit monotonous.
Yeah, you've serious targets and you've got to reach
deadlines.
To reach deadlines. You've also got to add to the list of cold calls that you make every.
Sure, of course, trying to get new business all the time.
It wouldn't suit me at all.
Yeah,
to be quite honest.
Well, I kind of like the buzz of the target thing because I am a bit driven. Everybody is. I mean, everybody likes to have something to reach or to get up to. The monotony part of it, being so monotonous, would probably bore the pants off me.
That didn't go as well as I had hoped. Lisa's interest in wine may be the makings of a hobby rather than a career. By now, Lisa's biggest fan, husband Charles, has heard her radio debut, and Lisa is keen to hear his thoughts.
How did I sound? Did I sound good? Because I thought I sounded a little bit croaky. Actually, it's funny, when I do get worried about my voice, every time I think about it, I'm doing something with my voice, I always feel that I get really scared about it. My voice gets kind of croakier than it normally is. So, yeah, I did. I relaxed a bit at more near the end of the programme, and I found, I was just getting much easier and easier as the day was going on. If I do get into radio presenting, then what I could do is maybe present wine on the radio for one or two of the channels. You never know. I want it all. I see that, I want it all.
Since I saw you last, I know you were doing the radio show and you're also looking at the wine side of it. And which is shining through more as
the radio, definitely.
Really?
I got such a kick out of it the other morning, and I was on such a high all day, and I realised that my personality can really shine through on the radio where I can't. A sales job is something I've kind of done before, and I just want to do something different.
You seem very sure that the radio is for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're reaching for the sky a little bit, or do you feel that this...
No, I feel this is it. I feel I'm 38 years of age. I can have anything I want if I put my mind to it, and I feel I want a job on radio and I'm going to get it.
I'd like us to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Because I think you're probably going for one of the toughest, hardest role to get into.
Yeah. I need to just get the confidence thing on the air without my voice cracking up. But I think that's breathing. I think I need to have some kind of training for that.
Okay. You were saying when you get nervous, the voice
I think when I get nervous, what actually happens is I get this really croakiness in my throat. And then once I get comfortable and into a zone, the real croakiness goes and my normal voice kind of comes through. I mean, I know I have radio voice
now you
anyway.
seem very relaxed. Your voice is relaxed.
But at the radio show, the more I've now sat in that Q102 station, and even though I only had a very little thing to do, just the whole atmosphere and it's me. It just feels like me. I feel like I'm at home sitting in there.
Okay, well, I think then you've got to go for it. I want you to think of the other things as well, because I would come to you for interior design advice. I probably would buy wine from you. I'm not 100% convinced yet I would turn off for my favourite radio presenter for you. So let's just keep our options open.
Sure, I've no problem doing that.
But our goal in focus.
Yes.
A job in radio presentation won't come easy, but I want to give her every chance. So I've arranged a voice coaching session with Paul Musolides.
Give yourself a structure here where you can feel 50% of the weight on one foot and 50% of the weight on the other foot. So you can lean to one side and then lean to the other side and then come to settle in the middle when we've got 50-50. And what that actually does is it kind of aligns you and gives you a good base to work from.
Right.
And you can probably feel it already.
Yeah,
it kind of calms you down.
Relaxed, actually.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a really, because that's how we're designed to be. It's like pressing the default button on your mobile phone or on your computer. We're like sending our body back to the factory setting.
Sure.
And that kind of huskiness and that kind of croakiness that we get sometimes, it's just probably that there's too much pressure and strain here, and it's just taking your voice into a higher particular area, and we're kind of going into that. And then because you're chatting and you want to kind of get all your energy out, it becomes a bit kind of too much.
Okay.
So remember, your voice, you're going to be a radio presenter.
Yes.
Your voice is your most important tool of your trade.
Of course.
Absolutely, there's nothing else. I'm going to ask you to sigh. Don't worry about too much about the breath, just let the sound of the voice come out. Okay, even more kind of, or more relaxed. Okay, now that note that you've hit there is the middle part of your range.
Okay.
Okay, so that means that you can go lower and you can go higher.
Okay.
Because if you're talking up here all the time, if we get a bit stressed or excited, we kind of go a bit higher, and then you kind of go higher.
Yeah.
So we actually need to remind ourselves to come back down again. So that's a really good, again, factory settings. You're reminding yourself where your voice goes. Because 84% of what people are getting is the sound of your voice.
Okay.
14% is what you're actually saying when you're on the radio or on the telephone.
I really don't want to dampen Lisa's enthusiasm, but it's vital that she keeps other options open in case radio doesn't work out. She's agreed to do a stint in Mitchell's Wine, and she's agreed to explore interior design, which my gut tells me would be perfect for her. Richard Baker is a corporate interior designer. I'd advise anyone thinking of a career change to talk to people already working in areas that interest them. It is a brilliant way to get a feel for the nuts and bolts of the job.
This product is a quartz, and it's a gorgeous composition. It needs to be a functional product, and that's so important. Also the paint, is it a matte, is it a vinyl silk, is it a semi-gloss? Again, will it wipe well? The majority of the kitchen would be in the cream, and then a very small amount would be picked up with a Zebrano. So possibly the wardrobes in the bedrooms would also be the same cream high gloss. Crucial, you understand what is going into that bathroom, what size the sink is.
Lisa got on well in the wine store and seems impressed by Richard, the interior designer. In the meantime, I'm researching radio for her. I've asked Yvonne Judge, producer of The Tubridy Show, to meet with Lisa for some advice on how to get started.
Ryan Finucane was an architect. Ryan Tubridy did arts, was going to do law. He came into RTE as a runner on the Jerry Ryan Show.
Right.
Pat Kenny did engineering. Like, it's across the board. Joe Duffy was a social worker. They're all top stars on there. You can use your experience. What you don't have in your college degrees or whatever, you have in your work in travel agency, in your work in the beauty industry. There's always slots in any radio station, in most magazine programmes around the country, for stuff on travel, for stuff on beauty. They always say, write about what you know, talk about what you know.
Yes.
It gives you an in.
Sure.
Someone says, well, you know what, Lisa, we mightn't have anything on nails this week, but do you know anything about hair extensions? By golly, you do.
Yeah. Right, okay. So use your general girly aspects of life and everything you take in, and all the knowledge that you've got to put forward something on the radio. Right.
So that's a lot of it as well. It's reading around all the time, keeping yourself very well informed all the time.
They say you're listening to my CD. What would you be, on my demo, what would you be looking for in the first minute or so that would really catch your attention about me?
Well, I want to know if you've done anything on air. Right. Anything. School radio, community radio. Have you recorded stuff yourself? Have you used a mini disc? Anything like that?
I'm on my way down Grafton Street now, and it's a lovely cold winter sunny day, and it just reminds me now as a kid when I used to come down Grafton Street and I used to go shopping for flowers. I used to bring them home to my mum, and she used to love having flowers for the weekend. Do you remember how long the florists are here in Grafton Street? Oh, forever.
Well, Lisa is now more determined than ever to pursue radio. I think it's time I try to de-romanticise it for her. I've given her the equipment to go out and get some vox pops,
Flowers.
for which you need a bit of a hard neck and a very thick skin.